Hey everyone, we're back at Paintball Extravaganza 2018 and we are checking out Virtue's booth. Lots of things here, so I'm just going to start randomly. Now this in itself is not a new product, but it has been changed. This is their high roller bag. Obviously it's huge, it's their really big bag, but they've made some really neat changes to it. Some little things just like reinforced handle and stuff like that, but the big thing, the thing that I think is actually kind of awesome, is it now has backpack straps. So if you see right here, it's got backpack straps. You can carry it like a backpack, and because of that, it's got this extra flap thing right here, and this flap actually covers the wheels. So I just hold that up like there. So you're not going to have wheels digging into your back because you just cover it with this little flap thing right there. But if you do want to use the wheels and the handle and stuff like that, like a traditional big rolling case, this flap just kind of closes up and zips up, and then your backpack straps are under there. So I think that was pretty neat. I think that's a pretty cool change to this bag. They actually have a new bag too. I'll show you this one. This one is called the Gambler. So this is a smaller bag, obviously you can see that. The cool thing about this is that, like this, in this configuration right now, this is the maximum dimensions for a carry-on piece of luggage on flight. So if you're bringing your gear as carry-on, you can bring this, and this is the maximum dimensions. However, it is actually expandable. I had one, but it went away. But basically it is actually, there's a zipper right here that once you unzip that, you can expand it. So it's like 4 inches wider after you expand it. So that's a pretty cool feature. You can make it bigger if you need it bigger, or if you need to take it as a carry-on, it's got the right dimensions for that. So thought that was neat. Here's another thing that's not exactly new, just updated. They do have the new Virtue Clock 3, the third version of the Virtue Clock chronograph. It's Bluetooth compatible now. That's pretty much it. So it's still like, I mean, I've used these are awesome. It's Bluetooth compatible, so yeah, that's that. Moving on to some actual cool new stuff. They got a new elbow pad right there. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called the Breakout Elbow Pad. I might have to go. Yeah, it's called the Breakout Elbow Pad. It says it right there. There you go. We also have our Elite harness right here. So we got a pad pack right here, which is basically like made of clouds. Like it's just so cushiony and so like soft and just, it's comfortable. It's super comfortable. It's like a really nice pod harness. So if you're in the market for a new pod harness and you want something that's going to be maximum comfort, I think this is it, because like it's super crazy cushiony. Next one, and you guys might not be as excited about this as I am, but I actually think this is awesome. So this is their new N-Charge battery pack. What this does is this is going to replace the AA's on your either Spire or your rotor, in all versions of those. So this is going to work with any Spire, any rotor, and it's basically a rechargeable battery pack that takes up the same space as 3 AA's. So I think that's awesome. That means that you're not constantly buying new batteries and stuff, and you know, it works in a whole bunch of different loaders. I think that's great. Not the most exciting product out there, but definitely necessary. But now, over here. This is the big one. This is the big one right here. So they actually have a new Spire. This is the Spire IR. This is I don't want to use the word cheaper, but it's a cheaper version of the Spire. It's a much more affordable version of the Spire, but they didn't really sacrifice a lot in terms of quality to do that. The major differences, the one biggest difference is basically, I'm not going to show you right now because there's nothing really to show you, but instead of having like a gyro sensor, it actually has eyes now. So the previous Spires, they would kind of feel the motion of your loader, and then they would feed based on that. But obviously you can kind of trick the sensor if you're running around or shaking the marker or whatever. This one has eyes. It's actually got 3 eyes inside this. So it's going to only feed when you want it to feed and when it needs to feed. It's not going to pulse on you like the previous Spires kind of had a tendency to do. Other major difference, which is kind of neither here nor there, the board is no longer adjustable or programmable. It's just kind of is the way it is. That was a cost-saving thing. I don't think a lot of players were really using the programmable board. I think they were just using it in its stock configuration, so yeah, whatever. And the last major change is basically, it's really kind of this part right here. And it basically, an issue that some of the previous Spires had was that part of the shell had these little tabs on it that kept it together, and over time, those tabs could crack or break. Not gonna happen with this. This is basically like nylon, so it's got a lot of flex to it, So this is not gonna crack on you. It's not gonna break. It's very like, as you can see, I can kind of squeeze it. So it's got some give to it. It shouldn't snap on you. And they actually do sell this as like a separate product. So that's what I've picked up right here. If you just want the back shell and you wanted to throw it on a previous version of a Spire, you can do that. And it's compatible with all the Crown 2 speed feeds. So that's nice. It means that if you've already got a Spire and you wanted to basically change out that back shell so you didn't have to worry about it breaking, yeah, you can do that. So tons of new things from Virtue, tons. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but that's pretty much it. We're gonna go keep checking stuff up, so stay tuned.